In a magical world where anything is possible, people use their minds to fly broomsticks and move objects. Magic is a part of everyday life and controls everything. But deep in a forest where dragons roam freely, two animals are surprised to see something unusual. A creature named Bashrax, who's different from others. Bash casually munches on a cream puff, seemingly unfazed by his uniqueness. Farther in the forest, an old man named Roger controls magic to make himself coffee. He has been hiding here with Mash, his companion, to keep their existence a secret. Mash, however, is a bit clumsy and accidentally breaks the door, causing Roger to get upset. Despite Mash's apologies, he keeps breaking things until Roger gives up and they enjoy tea together. Mash wonders why Roger's workouts are only physical, but Roger avoids telling him the truth, that Mash is the only one in their world who can't use magic. Instead, Roger warns Mash not to go into the city. Fearing what might happen, Mash promises, but when he finds a flyer for a special cream puff, he can't resist. As he explores the city, he sees everyone using magic for everyday tasks, something he can't do. At the cream puff stand, Mash pays for his order with coins that are bent in half. The merchant is startled, but Mash quickly fixes them. As he receives his order, a gust of wind briefly reveals his face to everyone in town. Mash is puzzled by the stares he receives, not understanding why. Meanwhile, a policeman interrogates a criminal while Mash wanders the city, drawing attention from passers-by. He accidentally bumps into another officer, staining his shirt. Angry, the officer demands Mash's response. In a bold move, Mash tears the officer's shirt off, angering him further. Just as things escalate, Mash's grandpa intervenes, whisking him away from trouble. Brad Coleman, the officer's superior, sees Mash as an opportunity for promotion and sends a magical bird to track them. Back at their cabin, Roger scolds Mash for breaking his promise, but Mash apologizes sincerely. Roger, softened by Mash's expression, decides to punish him with extra training. As Mash heads for the door, Roger opens it, anticipating Mash's usual habit of breaking things. Mash, though reckless, understands his son's actions. After all, he's just a teenager who's been hidden away from the city for so long. When he notices a magical bird staring at him, the police suddenly explode into the entrance of their hideout. In the forest, a squirrel senses danger as Mash carries a weight that seems insignificant to him. Returning to the broken door, Mash struggles to remember whether to push or pull. Inside, he hears the police officers restraining his grandpa for hiding someone without magical abilities, which are seen as a threat in their world. Mash's grandpa refuses to reveal Mash's location, despite being beaten. He recalls his own struggles with magic, how he was constantly belittled and fired from jobs due to his weak abilities. His life changed when he found and decided to raise an abandoned baby, vowing to be its father. As the police officer prepares to strike, Mash bursts through the door and fights back. Despite the odds, he stands firm against those who oppose him. Determined to protect his family, Mash reassures his grandpa that he'll never leave the only family he has. With determination, he faces Brad, unaware that Brad is one of the world's strongest mages. Brad unleashes his ultimate magical spell, causing a massive explosion. But to everyone's surprise, Mash remains unharmed. Undeterred, Brad launches another powerful attack, but Mash effortlessly deflects it. In the forest, the officer continues his assault, but Mash handles the magical blows with ease, even juggling them like volleyballs. After neutralizing all the attacks, Mash picks up his grandpa's wand. Brad, expecting a magical attack, prepares a defense circle. However, Mash surprises him by throwing the wand like a baseball, penetrating Brad's defenses. Mash warns Brad not to threaten his family again, or else. Brad proposes a deal. If Mash can become a divine visionary, a prestigious position, Brad will allow his family to stay hidden. Brad stands to gain fame and fortune if Mash succeeds, as it would mean even God accepted him. Mash's grandpa warns him not to trust Brad's words too easily, but Brad reminds them that refusal means being hunted by the entire country. Knowing the risks, Mash accepts the challenge to ensure his and his grandpa's safety. Despite his grandpa's doubts about Mash's survival in a magical school, Mash is determined to live peacefully with him, even if it means attending the notorious Easton Magic Academy. With his sheer determination, Mash believes he can overcome any challenge. The Easton Magic Academy is incredibly prestigious, with less than 3% of applicants accepted each year. Only those with extraordinary magical abilities stand a chance. Professor Lucci, overseeing the entrance exam, is unimpressed by the students until Mash arrives, displaying remarkable strength and agility. As Mash's unconventional methods catch Lucci's attention, Others try to hide behind him, hoping to benefit from his success. Despite Brad's skepticism and attempts to undermine MASH, the entrance ceremony begins. Lucci, appearing in a burst of fire, introduces himself as the 7th greatest magician. MASH's casual remark about the heat of emerging from fire annoys Lucci, but he proceeds with the ceremony, conjuring desks and supplies with magic. While Lucci tries to maintain authority, MASH's straightforward comments challenge him. Despite the odds, MASH is determined to prove himself, even if Lucci doubts his chances of passing the entrance exam. As the students examine the test paper, they're surprised to see the words squirming around. Brad and Roger doubt MASH's ability to pass such a challenging test. Despite MASH's attempt to command the words to stop moving, they continue until he crushes his pen, intimidating them into stillness. Professor Lucci, skeptical of MASH's success, observes as MASH effortlessly completes tasks like making a boulder float and running above water without magic. MASH finds creative solutions to each test, frustrating Lucci. For the next exam, Lucci creates a maze filled with magical traps. MASH sees it as an easy challenge until a girl, a potential love interest, asks for his help in exchange for a reward. MASH, confident in his abilities, agrees. As they navigate the maze together, the girl falls into traps and goblins attack. MASH, bored by the ordeal, focuses on completing the test. However, the girl reveals her deception and restrains MASH with metal cuffs. Unfazed, MASH breaks free, shocking the girl. He dashes towards the goal, leaving her behind. Suddenly, a giant pharaoh appears, catching the girl off guard. The riddle asks about a creature with 4 legs in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and 3 at night. Lemon, although a human, has been called a fruit her whole life. She tries to fight a monster but is threatened by the pharaoh. MASH saves her just in time. MASH admits he felt sorry for Lemon despite her deception. They worry about passing the test with little time left. Suddenly, they hear destruction. Lucci doubts anyone can break the thick walls, but MASH effortlessly smashes through them. The Grand Master finds MASH interesting, but other students accuse him of cheating. Lemon defends MASH, revealing she deceived under Lucci's orders to help her family. Despite Lemon's confession, MASH still proposes to marry her. Though Lemon misunderstands, Lucci decides to dispose of them, insulting Lemon. He challenges MASH to a duel as the field fills with magic. Even though Lemon deceived MASH, he still saved her and even proposed marriage. MASH tries to clarify, but Lemon thinks he's confessing his love. Lucci, the examiner, finds nothing wrong with MASH's actions and deems them useless. He insults Lemon, activating a magical circle and challenging MASH to a duel to pass. His magical powers fill the field. MASH tells Lucci he's going too far, while Roger and Brad think it was expected. Lucci prepares to fight, but the headmaster intervenes, announcing they'll move to interviews. He instructs Lucci to meet him later. MASH is the first to be interviewed. The headmaster asks why he chose the academy. MASH replies he wanted to live peacefully with his family, which the Grand Master accepts. He then asks why MASH risked failing the test to save the girl. MASH explains he didn't want to regret not saving her, even if she was stronger. The headmaster warns MASH of stronger monsters and challenges him to face one summoned by his magic. The council members are afraid, as the headmaster reveals his grandpa's soul is inside the monster. He adds that if the doll containing the soul is stabbed, his grandpa will be lost forever. MASH tries to stop the knife with his arm, enduring the pain. He knows the headmaster can't maintain the creature for long. Impressed by MASH's strength and compassion, the headmaster ends the test, apologizing for testing him in such a way. For the final time, MASH accepts the apology and answers a question from the headmaster. If he had to face him to save a loved one, he'd knock him out. The council disapproves, but the Grand Master welcomes MASH to the academy. That's how MASH passed and became a student. On his first day, the teacher demonstrates magic to open a lock. When it's MASH's turn, he breaks the lock instead. Despite being in a magical school, MASH says, "God is dead." His classmates find him troublesome, and some smile suspiciously at him. In his dorm, MASH meets Finn, who finds MASH strange. MASH asks about becoming the Divine Visionary, learning it's a spy family task to collect 10 gold coins while maintaining grades. MASH thanks Finn with a cream puff and they become friends. Weeks later, MASH needs a broomstick for a challenge. Finn lends him one, as he accidentally bought a burdock instead of a broomstick. MASH calls Finn a great friend. During class, everyone summons their broomsticks, but MASH's won't fly. When a kid questions him, MASH stomps to make it fly. The kid thinks MASH cheated, but MASH plays dumb to avoid embarrassment. The challenge continues as MASH faces off against the kid who turns out to be the best broomstick rider in the academy. Despite Mash's clumsiness in yesterday's class, he surprises everyone by finishing the race instantly. The teacher is impressed, and Bash sets a world record. A mysterious man watches, and Finn knows Bash's secret technique. Throwing his broomstick at light speed and jumping to mount it midair, the student accuses Mash of cheating, but Mash tells him to face reality. Angered, the student is about to yell when a magical ability silences him. A blonde kid, Cavil, apologizes for his friend and introduces himself. He offers to be friends, but Mash jokingly calls him Cabbage. Cavil tries to shake hands, but the teacher tells him off. He invites Mash to meet after school. Outside of class, Cavil scolds his friend for embarrassing him but finds Mash amusing. Walking with Finn, Mash learns that Cavil's father is in the Bureau of Magic, the most important entity. Finn reveals Cavil's ties to the vice principal, explaining why everyone fears him. After school, Mash prepares cream puffs in a pink apron, wishing his grandpa could test them. Despite feeling like he's forgetting something, the cream puffs are too important to him. The next day in class, Mash's notebook is torn, and Cavil's lackeys laugh at him. Cavil approaches, questioning why Mash didn't meet him yesterday. He offers to put in a good word for Mash to become a divine visionary if Mash follows his orders. Mash agrees and fulfills all of Cavil's requests, despite Finn noticing. Mash asks for Finn's notebook, teleporting to take it. Grateful, he gives Finn cream puffs and expresses his appreciation for their friendship. Mash continues obeying Cavil, even cleaning up spilled water. Impressed by Mash's dedication, Cavil commands Finn to burn Mash's clothes. Finn refuses, apologizing, but Cavil uses magic to force him. Mash approaches, shocked, and questions Cavil's actions. Cavil demands an apology from Finn, who tearfully confesses he's been sabotaging Mash's notebooks out of fear. He couldn't bear Mash calling him a great friend while lying to him. Cavil regrets not receiving a sincere apology. Later, Cavil plans to dine with the vice principal and tells Mash to leave Finn behind. Mash grabs Cavil's hair, slamming his head into the ground, knocking him out. Cavil's friends are shocked, but Mash is unbothered by the consequences, even if it means expulsion. Realizing the consequences of his actions, Mash cares about being expelled. The vice principal appears, witnessing the incident, and Mash and Finn will face consequences. Due to their different status, they'll be treated differently. The vice principal tries to enlighten them, but Mash interrupts with a fierce roundhouse kick. In response, the vice principal vows to expel Mash instantly, using his magic wand. But Mash shoves dirt in his face, digs a hole, and buries him in it. He asserts that if the vice principal can expel him anytime, then he can bury him anytime too. Even if the vice principal throws Mash in prison or hurts him, Mash will bury him. Later, Mash is summoned before the headmaster, who asks why he's there. Instead, Mash asks what mail came today. The headmaster, taken aback, says it's nothing important. Mash is unapologetic for burying the vice principal and punching Cavil. He's ordered to be expelled from the Bureau of Magic, the highest authority. The headmaster, however, refuses to punish those who care. He burns the expulsion order, expressing hope that someone like Mash will become a divine visionary one day. Mash reveals his dedication to becoming one already. The headmaster admires his spirit but struggles to explain how to become one before Mash passes out from information overload. The headmaster encourages Mash to focus on his classes and gather as many coins as possible to achieve his goal. Despite the challenges, the headmaster assures Mash of his protection from the Bureau of Magic. However, there's another problem ahead, but the headmaster believes Mash can overcome it. Despite the incident with the vice principal and Cavil, Mash gains recognition at the academy. The next day, Mash walks with Finn, teaching him how to make cream puffs. They encounter Tom, who invites Mash to a duel, referring to life as a fire. Tom is popular with girls, but they mock Mash's appearance, calling his hairstyle a mushroom. Bash wonders what Tom's been smoking. Tom explains they'll compete on broomsticks, similar to Harry Potter. He urges Mash to aim high. Even if he misses, he'll land among his dreams. At the match, Mash struggles to ride a broomstick but participates reluctantly. The crowd realizes Mash isn't flying and starts throwing things at him, urging him to leave. Feeling out of place, Mash stands on the ground while others fly. The captain confronts him, urging him to quit being lazy. Mash insists he's not lazy, but lacks something like the mighty bamboo, which can survive any climate. The captain tries to explain the rules again, comparing it to a Harry Potter game. Their team is far behind, and the captain hands Mash a broom, calling it the bamboo that can't fly. Mash is surprised but determined to try. Amazed by the captain's oddity and determination, Tom's sole focus is on giving his all in the match. which is why he recruited Mash. He returns to the game encouraged, but an opponent accidentally knocks him off his broom, leaving him injured. Despite this, the opponents continue scoring, prioritizing victory over sportsmanship. Tom questions their lack of sportsmanship, but the opponents only care about winning. With a significant lead against Mash's team, Tom finds the situation pathetic but emphasizes that giving your best is what truly matters. Despite being 50 points behind, Mash grabs his broomstick and leaps into the air, seemingly flying. He asks his teammates to pass the ball to him, but everyone doubts his ability to throw from such a distance. As opponents fly towards him to steal the ball, Mash prepares a powerful throw, scoring from beyond half field. Despite still being 49 points down, Mash's determination is evident as he continues to score, using precise strikes to curve the ball back to him. With Mash's incredible performance, the score reaches its limit, and his team wins in a remarkable comeback. Mash earns a silver coin for breaking the world record. Finn congratulates him on his achievement, marking a memorable victory for Mash's team. Mash assures Tom he won't repeat his extraordinary feat. Tom, filled with intense emotion, embraces Mash, praising him for becoming a great bamboo. Although Mash still doesn't understand the magic enhancing his abilities, the news celebrates Mash as the lead scorer in the match, breaking a world record. Meanwhile, a mysterious figure opens a pendant, indicating that Mash will be their next target. The following day, Tom, fueled by his magical bamboo, encourages Mash to shine brighter in life's challenges. Lemon offers to help Mash with his studies, suggesting hands-on anatomy lessons, albeit with some questionable innuendos. Finn wishes for attention from Lemon, but gets caught up in Mash's antics. As they chat, Lance, with 2 scars on his face, interrupts. Lemon's mind wanders to curious thoughts about him, but she remains fixated on Mash. Bash hesitates to let Lance join, but Lance proposes a game of hide-and-seek. However, Lance traps Mash's friends in an ancient bottle and challenges Mash to a gamble for the silver coins. Deep in the forest, Mash confronts Lance, questioning his motives. Lance reveals the coins and suggests they gamble for them, leaving Tom worried about his friend's safety amidst the mysterious stakes. In this world, most people have a single line indicating their ability to use magic, but rare individuals with a double line like Mash are seen as chosen by magic itself. Lance, aware of Mash's selflessness, expects him to accept the challenge, even though he's likely to lose. Meanwhile, Finn struggles with Lemon's close presence, urging Lance to get on with the challenge. As Lance casts his spell, altering the field's structure, tensions rise among the spectators. Mash's grandpa frets over his safety while Brad worries about potential losses. Suddenly, an explosion rocks the cliffside, signaling the bottle's intensity. Unimpressed by flashy displays, Bash charges at Lance. However, Lance's gravity spell pins Mash to the ground, taunting him for his futile struggle. Determined, Mash uses the Earth's resources to retaliate, surprising Lance with his resilience. Despite Lance's attempts to counter, Mash's agility and newfound speed keep him one step ahead. Though he fails to defeat Lance outright, Mash shatters his pendant, revealing a girl trapped inside. Lance, now revealed as a Siscon, challenges Mash's notion of the world's most precious thing, asserting it's love, not cream puffs. Lance's anger intensifies as Mash fails to provide a satisfactory answer to his question. In response, Mash challenges Lance to share his perspective on the most important thing. Lance, driven by his determination to save his sister, threatens to attack Mash midair if he tries to retrieve the bottle, symbolizing his resolve. Reflecting on his sister Anna's love and his determination to protect her, Lance recalls her illness and the harsh reality that her magic will fade within 5 years. Lance's resolve to become a divine visionary and change society's perception of his sister fuels his actions. He accelerates the bottle's fall, ready to face Mash in a showdown. As Lance readies himself with hamstring magic, Mash surprises him by appearing behind him. Despite Lance's determination, Mash intervenes, believing Lance to be a fundamentally good person. Retrieving the empty bottle, Mash urges Lance to stop, realizing the bottle held no significance. In a moment of clarity, Lance relinquishes the battle and hands over the actual bottle to Mash. Reflecting on Mash's words and his sister's sentiments, Lance concedes defeat and honors their bet, awarding Mash his second silver coin. While Lance walks away, Mash acknowledges him as a decent person but regrets releasing his friends from the bottle in the heat of the moment at the Easton Magic Academy. In the Alder dorm, Mash reflects on his progress with his silver coin, knowing that 5 of them can be combined to create a gold coin. However, he only has 2 so far. Finn, noticing Mash's distraction, chides him for his absent-mindedness, likening him to a meathead. Mash, seemingly unfazed, enjoys the peaceful day, until Finn reminds him about their forgotten potions assignment. Finn worries about failing the academy, but Mash remains indifferent. Lance, the top student, enters and, having already completed the assignment, lectures them on responsibility. Bash, ever the provocateur, jests about Lance's British accent, leading Lance to demonstrate the potion-making process, drawing heavily from Harry Potter. As Lance demonstrates the spell to calm the Mandragora, Mash gets excited about the Harry Potter references. However, when Finn and Mash attempt the spell, the Mandragora doesn't respond to Finn's casting, and it screams even louder when Mash tries. Lance advises them to concentrate their magic on a single point while casting the spell. Eventually, Finn succeeds in putting the Mandragora to sleep. Wondering how Mash is faring, in the potions class, Lance demonstrates how to create the compound they need for the assignment. Despite Finn's skepticism, Mash believes he knows exactly what to do. Surprisingly, Mash ends up making a cream puff again, leaving Lance puzzled by his apparent incompetence. Lance acknowledges Mash's combat superiority and promises to protect his coins. Mash reciprocates the promise, vowing to never let anyone take Lance's coins away. Meanwhile, the all-dorm off-campus class is about to start, and the headmaster wonders if Mash will be alright. In a scene reminiscent of Naruto, a student named Naruto bumps into 3 kids, using his magic jutsu to defeat them, and calling them side characters in the wrong anime. In a secret room, a man with 2 scars throws silver coins on the ground, declaring that Lang will rule the school. He commands his subordinates to steal coins from other dorms. As the day of the all-dorm class arrives, Naruto asserts himself as the main character. Despite his name being Don, Vash finds him odd, but Naruto insults him, calling him a mushroom head and saying he looks like a side character. Amidst the chaos, Lemon enters, loudly calling Mash's name and demanding him to cream her puff already, adding to the absurdity. Naruto responds by spitting on Mash in a disrespectful manner and threatens to kill him. He expresses his frustration with the world, believing that people like Mash are ruining it by attracting attention, while he, despite being surrounded by women, hasn't garnered any affection. Determined to become a divine visionary and change the system, Naruto vows to rid the world of hot guys like Mash. Meanwhile, Lemon persists in her request for Mash to cream her puff, while Mash seems oblivious to the innuendo. Finding the taste of his cream puff satisfying, meanwhile, Naruto demands attention, feeling slighted by being ignored. However, the teacher appears to explain the class rules. They must hunt down and exterminate the hidden scorpions in the forest to earn silver coins. As they prepare to depart, a mysterious man seizes Mash, warning him not to let his recent success get to his head. Mash responds with a cold glance, prompting the man to urge him to get up. The man then departs, cautioning Mash to show more respect in their next encounter. But Lance intervenes, cautioning against provoking the man known for misconduct. Mash is relieved that his cream puff remains intact, as he eagerly anticipates mashing lemons and creaming her puff, likely referring to Lemon. As they journey through the forest, Lance notices Mash's absence, having fallen unconscious. Suddenly, Naruto declares his intent to destroy Mash upon spotting him. However, when their eyes meet, Naruto screams in fear, prompting Mash to slap him and demand respect. Before Naruto can retaliate, they hear a woman's cries in the distance. A man threatens her, and Naruto swiftly incinerates him with his power. Grateful, the woman thanks Naruto and instructs him not to harm her again. Despite Naruto's attempts to play it cool, his embarrassment manifests in multiple climaxes. Trying to regain composure, Naruto attempts to charm the woman, but she triggers yet another climax by praising his masculinity and strength. Deep in the forest, the mysterious man triumphs over one of the boss scorpions, preparing to face off with Mash. Meanwhile, Mash enjoys his creamy puff, while Naruto has a creamy surprise in his pants. When the girl accidentally bumps into Naruto, he climaxes once more, leaving her questioning his level of experience. Despite Naruto's confusion, the girl showers him with compliments, triggering more climaxes until he's left in a daze. As she approaches Mash, intending to use her magic on him, Mash remains unfazed, expressing his love for cream puffs instead. The girl, perplexed by his resistance, intensifies her magic, using sound, sight, and touch to try to win him over. However, Mash remains steadfast in his affection for cream puffs. Leaving the girl baffled, Naruto, having regained his composure, notices the girl's sadness and learns about the bully tormenting her. activating simp mode once again, Naruto promises to confront the bully on her behalf. Suddenly, giant stone crystals emerge from the ground, signaling the arrival of the bully. Naruto launches an all-out assault, but the man easily deflects his attacks with the crystals, while Lemon and Finn protect Lance. Lance worries about Mash's safety, especially with the white-haired bully around. Naruto, thinking the fight would be easy, finds himself in a rage when the man counters his attacks and knocks the cream puff out of his hand. Mash, witnessing Naruto's fury, prepares to confront the man before him with absolute determination. Naruto faces off against Silva, uncertain of how he'll withstand Silva's magical abilities. While Naruto doubts Mash's usefulness in the battle, Silva deems him a letdown but offers him a chance. Endure 5 hits of his magic, and he'll leave the girl alone, even betting a silver coin on it. Despite the girl's concern for Naruto's safety, he agrees to the challenge, reasoning that he's already climaxed to her 5 times, so it's only fair he takes 5 blows. As Naruto prepares to take the hits, Silva reveals he's also challenging Mash. Naruto, however, insists that Mash isn't involved and decides to endure all the blows for him as well. After just 1 hit, Naruto starts coughing up blood, but he remains resolute even as Silva relentlessly strikes him 9 times. Despite his fading consciousness, Naruto is motivated by his crush's tearful story of being bullied. Refusing to doubt her sincerity, impressed by Naruto's endurance, Silva promises to deliver an extra powerful blow for the final hit. As the giant iron fist hurtles toward him, Naruto refuses to yield but eventually collapses, unable to withstand the damage to his core organs and muscles. Recognizing Naruto's sacrifice, he urges Mash to escape with the girl. Promising to find a way to make everything right, Silva casts another iron fist, and Naruto continues to plead with Mash to leave. However, the girl reveals she's been charming Naruto with mad magic the whole time. Silva scoffs at Naruto's delusions of being a main character, but Mash interrupts by throwing his white creamy puff into Silva's mouth, declaring they've gone too far and challenging Silva to the 10-hit challenge. Meanwhile, Lemon is experiencing withdrawal because her puff hasn't been creamed by Mash. Lance is concerned about the different types of magic users, noting that red mages, especially those with double lines, are likely to surpass even Mash's strength. Silva, angered by Mash's statement, sees it as his mission to destroy people like Naruto and crush their confidence. With some of Naruto's blood on his clothes, Silva prepares to slam him down, but Mash rushes forward to defend him. Silva manages to scratch Mash with an iron fist, laughing at his arrogance. He launches multiple hits towards Mash, but Mash holds off the largest iron fist with his bare fist and activates tricep magic, a form of magic Silva has never encountered. Despite Silva's flurry of iron fists, Mash evades them one by one. As the iron fists rush towards him, Mash destroys each one until he finally reaches Silva. With blood pouring out, Silva struggles to speak as Mash approaches. However, as all the iron fists converge on Mash, he clenches his fist, sets up his footwork, and delivers a devastating blow that destroys every single iron fist and lands a powerful strike on Silva's stomach. Silva flies backward, coughing up blood, realizing he has no chance of winning against Mash. Mash casually sits on a tree, mentioning it's only been 2 punches and asking if Silva intends to endure 10 of them, given that Mash is the greatest after all. Silva's mind reels at the prospect of enduring another hit that could potentially end him, desperately trying to come up with a plan. Suddenly the ground shakes, and a giant scorpion with a star-shaped stone appears. Silva sees it as an opportunity to distract Mash and escape. However, Mash apologizes for being busy, and the stone falls to the ground, ending Silva's hope for escape. Mash offers Silva a chance to quit, feeling sorry for him. However, Silva's attention is caught by the girl, who begins crying and pretending to apologize. Mash wonders if he heard her correctly as she apologizes and claims to be truly sorry. Mash surprises everyone by hugging her from behind and telling her it's all right. Believing in equal rights meaning equal fights, Naruto overhears Lemon's desire for her insides to be mashed by Mash, as he squeezes all her juices out with his lemon juicer and creams her puff. He's bewildered by the situation but notices Lemon's concern for Mash. Lemon approaches Naruto, asking if he's okay. The scene heats up as Lemon finds Simp in yet another tight spot, and Lemon can't help but think Simp is acting strange. She screams for help. Meanwhile, Naruto feels bad for dragging Mash into his mess, but Mash reassures him it's okay. Naruto snaps back, asking for a break since he's been trying so hard. Mash jokes that the only thing they'll break is Lemon's back while squeezing a cream puff into her mouth. Lance uncovers the truth. They've been targeted all along. Lang is after coins, especially from Mash's dorm where the best students reside, aiming to maintain their elite status and prevent others from rising. It's brewing into a coin war among the dorms. Mash finds the whole thing reminiscent of a storyline he once imagined as a kid. Suddenly, a golden light shines from Mash's pocket. It's a golden coin. Naruto can only wish for such luck as Mash proudly displays it. This leads to a discussion about the different dorms, which Mash realizes are quite similar to those in Harry Potter. During a dorm assignment ritual, Mash's mind is solely on cream puffs, apologizing to the skeleton for squeezing it too hard. The skeleton, baffled by Mash's single-mindedness, decides to investigate further, only to find more cream puff thoughts. Finally, it concludes that cream puff lovers belong in Alder, leaving everyone to realize Mash's oddness. Lance clarifies that Lang's elite comprises 7 top students in the world. Now that Mash has a gold coin, he knows he has to be super careful around Lang and not get lost. He promises to stay vigilant, but oops, he ends up lost in school while wandering around. He accidentally finds himself at the Lang dorm. He's puzzled whether to push or pull the door, adding to his confusion. Inside the room, Silva is begging for forgiveness from Lord Abel. He lost not just any coin, but a silver one. He pleads for another chance, but Abel isn't having it. He believes only special individuals can change the world and is collecting coins to create a better world. Silva's punishment is to become a doll-like creature, free from worries but also devoid of a meaningful life. Mash bursts in, confronting Abel, questioning if he realizes he's talking to a doll. Abel recognizes Mash as the first-year student with the gold coin and asks why he wants to be a divine visionary. Mash simply wants to live peacefully with his parents. Abel respects that but thinks Mash lacks the strength needed to be a deity-like figure. He believes in a world where the strong dominate the weak, even in human society. Mash, in his own way, understands Abel's perspective, thinking maybe all Abel wants is peace, like a cream puff. Abel sees Mash's words as a form of hostility but allows him to leave peacefully if he hands over his gold coin. Mash refuses Abel's demand, but Abel sends a puppet toward Mash, which Mash swiftly takes down, freeing Silva from its control. Mash finds it wasn't much of a challenge, but then a larger puppet grabs him, showing unexpected strength. Despite Mash's resistance, the doll manages to take his coin and toss it to Abel, who thanks him. The doll then smashes Mash against a pillar. Staggering to his feet, Mash tells Abel he's not much of a challenge. Concerned for Silva's well-being, Mash decides to take him to the nurse's office instead of worrying about the coin. He promises never to lose to Abel. This surprises all the Lang members, and Mash leaves the room confidently. Abel wonders why Mash is so overconfident, sensing something is off. He notices a puppet is missing a button, and in his hand he holds the button instead of the coin. Lemon realizes she witnessed something incredible. The puppet flung the coin, but Mash bit off the button and sent it flying back, hitting the coin midair and reclaiming it with precision, leaving Abel shocked. In the nurse's office, Silva wakes up to find himself human again. He's puzzled to see Mash munching on something and wonders what he's up to. Mash tries to explain but almost bites his tongue off, deciding to leave to spare himself embarrassment. Meanwhile, in Mash's dorm, Lance and Naruto are having a tense moment. Lance questions Naruto's new hairstyle, and Naruto explains it's to impress Lemon. He then insults Lance's appearance and demands he leave Finn's room, where they're currently situated. Naruto starts breakdancing, irritating Lance, who expresses his desire to get rid of him. Naruto and Lance accept the challenge and prepare to wreck poor Finn's room. Mash intervenes, urging them to take their fight outside instead of trashing his place. Naruto presents Finn with a gift, lemon-flavored tea, which Finn finds odd. Naruto expresses his wish for a girlfriend while Mash enjoys his lemon cream puff. Lance scolds Naruto for his lemon obsession, and Finn wonders why he's stuck with these guys. Lemon arrives, seeing the 4 guys and jokingly begs them not to run a train on her, then realizes she's just a lemon. She recalls the rivalry between lemons and eggplants. She shows them the magic scale, revealing that Lang's dorm has 15 coins compared to the other dorms 1 each. Lang's exclusivity and thefts are leading to the creation of a potentially evil divine visionary. Naruto, now filled with anger, vows to bring Lang down, joined by Mash, Lance, and Lemon. The group, resembling Power Rangers, is ready for action. At the owl farm, Mash ponders why his mushroom hair ended up there. Lance joins him, offering to accompany him in case Lang's crew tails them. Meanwhile, two Lang members discuss the passage of time, interrupted by Mash's attempts to clean the hut. Suddenly, a water puddle forms into a giant shuriken, narrowly missing Lance's head. The Lang lackeys, introducing themselves as the Sixth Fang, Olor, and the Seventh Fang, Answer, are here to battle for the gold coins. Poor Mash is struggling, as he's never swum before and is about to drown. Suddenly, Olor transforms into a shark and dives into the puddle to save him. Answer tells Lance that in a fight, there's always a winner and a loser. Lance faces a dilemma as he prepares to fight Answer. He hesitates when he sees an owl in his way, knowing his sister would be upset if he harmed them. Answer attacks with giant shurikens, but Lance decides to take the blow to protect the owls. Answer realizes Lance is from the prestigious Crown family but is surprised by his weakness. Lance activates his magic, but it only summons a shovel, disappointing Answer. Frustrated, Answer launches his ultimate shuriken, but Lance crushes it with his magic, revealing his secret. His determination to protect his sister gives him incredible strength. Meanwhile, in the sea, Olor prepares to hunt Mash but is surprised when Mash suddenly flashes next to him, swimming effortlessly. Mash arrives and thanks the shark for teaching him to swim better than he realized. He surprises everyone by swimming faster than any shark on the planet. Olor transforms into his ultimate form, Sea Shark Evolution, confident that nobody can defeat him. However, Mash dives deep into Olor's sides and defeats both enemies. Lance confiscates their coin, confident they can handle more enemies like them. Suddenly, a mysterious person enters, flickering past them and advising against jumping to conclusions. Lance tries to use his magic, but it has no effect. The man calms them down, stating he's only there for his allies. Mash, sensing danger, rushes towards him, but the man swiftly evades, apologizing for seeming menacing. He leaves with his allies, promising they'll meet again soon. Mash realizes they're in for a tough battle. The next morning, Lance wants to locate the Lang dorms to take their coins, but he wonders if Mash has been paying attention. It's been a month since Mash joined. Lance gives Mash his dorm's robe, hoping it will make him feel more connected. Lemon interrupts, begging for her cream puff to be filled. Mash promises to do it after baking his own cream puffs, but Lemon insists she needs it immediately. He tried to convince her that his cream puffs were tastier than her citrus juices, but she insisted she needed her juices squeezed with his lemon squeezer in the infirmary. Tom, looking bewildered, asked them about their bambooing, leaving Bash thinking his brain was fried. Lemon wondered why he looked like he'd spent 15 years in prison. Tom explained that his brain was so fried he had no memory of what happened. Feeling drained of energy after dreaming he was trapped in a dark box for hours. Feeling sorry for him, Bash offered him a cream puff, but Lemon suggested saving it for later. Concerned, she asked if he was all right, but Tom said he couldn't use any magical energy, which Lance found suspicious, especially since other patients lost their magic when the headmaster left for the Bureau of Magic. Lemon, feeling scared, handed Mash her lemon cream puff, wanting her insides creamy. Mash, puzzled by the ribbon, got punched in the face for questioning it. Typical anime logic. Lemon instructed Mash to keep the cream puff with him at all times, even while sleeping, so he could cream her puff in his dreams. As the dorm lights went out, Lance suspected the Magi Lupus were behind it, but Mash questioned his bravery in walking towards danger at night. They stumbled upon Lemon with her back turned, and Naruto got a little too excited. Lance urged caution, sensing something was off. Lemon's movements became unnatural, but they managed to stay hidden. Naruto feels embarrassed after his premature excitement, realizing Lemon doesn't even have eyes. Finn notices Lemon walking somewhere, but they end up at a dead end. When Finn hears a creaking sound, Naruto dismisses it until he hears it too. They cling to Mash for safety, but Lance reassures them it's just a spell. Lance uses his disclose ability to uncover a secret door beneath them, but admits it's beyond his magic. Naruto tries to blast the door with his machine gun Explom, but it remains intact, dampening his spirits. Bash decides to try a Gigachad move by using an armor suit to break the logic of the show. He bangs on the floor to lift the door and uses a sword as a lever, launching the door into the sky and destroying the ceilings. Lance informs them Lemon is inside, which excites Naruto but worries Mash, who recalls Lemon's request for him not to take risks. As they venture deeper, Mash feels the scenario is a blatant Harry Potter ripoff, annoying Naruto. Lance suspects Lang chose the hideout for a reason. Finally, they reach an arena where a man materializes, claiming to be there on the Third Fang's orders to eliminate intruders like them. He challenges them to a duel for their coins. Lance is ready to face off, but Naruto insists on taking care of it, fueled by his disdain for good-looking guys. The others cheer Naruto on, and when he learns the man has a fan club, jealousy sparks. Naruto begins screaming threats, confirming everyone's assumptions. The man taunts Naruto, asking if he's jealous of his looks, further fueling Naruto's rage. However, Mash notices Naruto lacks both brains and attractiveness. The battle begins, with Naruto using his Exclaim ability, but the man's Rose Whip easily neutralizes it, slashing towards Naruto. Naruto recalls his previous defeat by Silva, realizing he's tougher than he looks. Determined not to lose, Naruto casts his X-Spawn Bomb, setting traps with 5 times the usual power. The man, confident in his abilities, underestimates the traps, but Naruto knows he'll fall for them. The man attacks with his Rose Whip, neutralizing Naruto's attacks and immobilizing him with thorny vines. Seeing Naruto as nothing more than an ugly idiot, the man prepares to end the fight with his next attack. However, Naruto reveals one of the traps was activated when the man stepped on a mark, destroying his wand. Naruto reveals his X-Spawn Bomb was actually a time bomb all along. Despite being defeated, Naruto continues to use his time bombs to try to incinerate his opponent. Showing that looks can be deceiving, he declares that no one should judge a book by its cover and eagerly awaits the next opponent. However, his defeated opponent remains standing in an attractive pose, unfazed. As the ground begins to sink, Mash desperately calls for someone to save his baby, but Finn and Naruto sink with him. Naruto realizes they're dealing with even bigger nutjobs than himself, while Lance realizes they've been intentionally split up. Meanwhile, the intense energy appears, and the man introduces himself as the third fang of magical lupus, Worth Mantle. Naruto and Finn find themselves facing Strawberry Lemon, the fifth fang, and Milo Genius, the fourth fang. Finn feels hopeless, but Naruto encourages him not to give up before the fight even begins, vowing to defeat any girl who tries to imitate Lemon. Elsewhere, Mash falls to the ground and wonders where everyone went. Torches light up the hallway, revealing the man from before who introduces himself as the second fang, Abyss Razor. He compliments Mash's impressive moves and reveals that, like Mash, he's also disliked by the world, reassuring him not to worry. Abyss also has his reasons for fighting, but Bash vows to beat him with all his strength, marking the beginning of their off-brand tournament arc. Vash, preparing to face Abyss Razor, delivers a spinning kick, but Abyss swiftly cuts his shoulder, demonstrating Mash's inability to win. Using his Accelerate ability, Abyss wounds Mash multiple times with blinding speed, declaring he'll never go easy on him. However, Mash remains unfazed, stating it doesn't matter. Abyss realizes Mash values peace with his family, finding it distasteful. Though they share similarities, Abyss believes Mash has been blessed with supportive people. In a magical prison, Abyss shows Lemon's magic being drained. Threatening to remove her mark, Mash vows to destroy Abyss's mask, earning Abyss's admiration for his stubbornness. Abyss launches a barrage of attacks, but Mash reveals a trap, delivering a devastating head smash that destroys Abyss's mask, revealing red eyes. Mash doesn't understand their significance and apologizes. Abyss wonders if Mash now understands the significance of his eyes, but Mash remains oblivious. Abyss reassures Mash not to apologize, revealing his red eyes as the evil eye of the devil, capable of temporarily disabling all magic, including his own. Mash feels disheartened that his special ability has no effect on Abyss, but Abyss explains he's always been feared, even by his own parents, and believes Mash wouldn't understand. Activating his ultimate ability, Accelerate Second, Abyss casts a force field around Mash, a power reserved for double-line magic users. Despite the decreased speed for everyone else, Abyss penetrates Mash's body with his sword, promising to finish him off soon. However, Mash strengthens his footing and crushes the earth around him, surprising Abyss. With Abyss distracted, Mash lunges forward and destroys his sword, revealing it was part of his plan all along. Mash prevents Abyss from regaining balance, activating full muscle magic Hurricane Rush. With his speed restored, Mash throws a punch towards Abyss's abdomen, shattering the force field. He then sprints towards Abyss, kicking him with glute magic, sending him flying. As Abyss rushes back with his broken sword, Mash holds it with his bare hand, activating forearm magic to kick him into the wall. Using hamstring magic, Mash kicks him away, then utilizes pectoralis magic to punch him towards the floor. As Abyss flies backward, Mash strikes him with his ellipsos, and delivers a final blow using his erector spine attack, suplexing Abyss to the ground. As Abyss lies defeated, he reflects on his life and wonders what it would have been like if he were born normal. His red eye manifested when he was a child. shocking his parents and leading to his abandonment by society. Locked in a cell by his parents, he endured years of suffering, even surviving an attempt on his life. Feeling unwanted by everyone, Abyss believes he should never have been born. Hearing Abyss's story, Mash realizes he cannot fully understand Abyss's struggles but still wishes to be friends. However, Abyss rejects the idea, envious of Mash's arrogance. Despite this, Abyss warns Mash not to advance further, acknowledging Mash's power but hinting at his own greater strength. Mash, determined to stand by Abyss, promises to never change his attitude towards him, as it's how he was raised. He invites Abyss to share cream puffs together in the future. Abyss finds Mash's sincerity strange but laughs, acknowledging him as the strangest man he's ever met. Meanwhile, in another room, Worth prepares to battle Lance, but Lance immediately activates his Grave Isle to crush him down. As Worth is swallowed by the floor and disappears, he reappears from behind Lance. Surprised by Lance's use of gravity magic, several clones of Worth appear and launch towards Lance, but Lance easily destroys them with his Gravel ability. Worth calls Lance's efforts meaningless and sends a mud spike towards him, narrowly avoided by Lance. Lance considers destroying the entire field to deal with the mud clones, but Worth rises from the concrete and activates his burst magic, locking Lance's legs in place and sending devastating spheres towards him. Seeing Lance's talent, Worth believes it's wasted and offers to train him if he joins the Magi Lupus, feeling sorry for Lance being surrounded by garbage. He tells Lance that to evolve, he needs to surround himself with stronger allies. Lance laughs off Worth's offer, viewing himself as superior, and activates his Gravel sideways to crash Worth into the wall. Despite Worth's ability to cushion shocks with a muddy environment, Rubble flies towards him. Realizing he's in trouble if he stays, Worth jumps out, worried his weakness is exposed, while Lance reminds him of his words about growing in the right environment. Based on this logic, Lance believes his environment is superior. Worth was more than just his magical abilities. Lance's words struck a chord with Worth, making him realize that despite his magical prowess and achievements, he still felt inadequate. He had been at the Easton Magic Academy since middle school, receiving the best education reserved for Lang's elite. However, Lance's words frustrated him, leading him to reveal a vial containing concentrated magic extracted from other students, which he used to enhance his power. Activating his viewer's second, Worth summoned a giant mud monster, boasting about the superiority of second abilities granted only to worthy double-liners. He remembered his father's teachings about Worth being determined by magical aptitude and achievements. But he disagreed with this narrow definition of Worth. As Worth faced Lance's counterattacks, including Lance's Gravel second and the use of torture poles to tear apart the mud monster, he questioned if his defeat meant he was truly worthless. Lance, seeing Worth's inner conflict, threw him a ragged book, suggesting that Worth was not solely determined by magical aptitude. Lance implied that they may have been raised in similar environments, where Worth was judged primarily by magical abilities, but Worth could redefine his own worth beyond those standards. Strawberry Lemon's intense manipulation tactics and obsession with being loved become apparent as she engages in a battle with Naruto. Despite Naruto's rejection and preference for Lemon over her, she persists in her attempts to win his affection. Naruto's repeated climaxes and insistence on marrying Lemon instead of her only fuel her anger. Strawberry Lemon launches a powerful tornado attack towards Naruto, who barely manages to defend against it using his Explong. She continues to berate Naruto for not loving her, claiming that anyone who can't appreciate her cuteness deserves to perish. Naruto, in a bizarre attempt to appease her, suggests he will be her real daddy, further aggravating the situation. In retaliation, Naruto launches his X-Bomb towards Strawberry Lemon, aiming to defeat her. However, she tries to deflect the attack with her tornado, only for the fireballs from the X-Bomb to create a barrier, blocking her vision from behind. This unexpected turn of events leaves Strawberry Lemon momentarily vulnerable. In a desperate attempt to defeat Naruto, Strawberry Lemon reveals the true danger of Milo's magic, which turns the opener of the gate into stone within 30 minutes. This means Mash is in imminent danger of being petrified. As Love casts her tornado cage to crush Naruto, she taunts him about Lemon's preference for Mash over him, adding to Naruto's sense of defeat. Naruto reflects on his past experiences of being bullied and his sister's encouragement to fight back. He recalls instances of being belittled and dismissed by others, except for Mash, who stood up for him. Determined not to let Mash's kindness go to waste, Naruto finds newfound resolve. When Love approaches Finn, intending to deal with him, Naruto intervenes and neutralizes her tornado. Love is shocked to see Naruto still standing and realizes his true identity as Dot. Marked by the cross on his head, Dot channels his emotions into his powers, unleashing a barrage of fireballs with his machine gun Explong. As Dot unleashed his fireballs towards Love, she realized none of the shots landed, as Dot never intended to harm a girl. Dot warned Love to leave before he changed his mind, surprising her with his chivalry. Finn was amazed by Dot's newfound power, recognizing him as another double-liner. However, their moment was interrupted when a stone monster appeared behind Finn. Dot rushed to shield him, taking the blow in his place. As Milo returned, chastising Love for her failure, he vowed to clean up the mess himself, sending a barrage of stone arms towards them. Dot doubted his ability to defeat the fourth Fang alone. Suddenly, a sword intervened, crushing Milo's stone arms. It was Divine Visionary Reigns, the ace of the Alder Dorm. Milo recognized him and attempted to explain, but Reigns swiftly defeated him with a barrage of swords. Love considered defecting to Alder, while Milo realized he had no chance against Reigns. Apologizing for following Abel's orders, Milo received a harsh lesson from Reigns, who emphasized that actions speak louder than words, promising to discipline him to prevent future mistakes. As Dot grappled with his uncertainty about which side he was on in the war, Reigns urged them to leave quickly. Love fled, while Finn was shocked to encounter his brother. Along the long hallway, Reigns sensed a whirlwind approaching from behind him. Meanwhile, Vash's Dums was still enjoying his cream puffs. Sensing Reigns' pressure, Vash summoned a spider to measure his magical powers. Mash, feeling doomed, refused to take the test. Reigns then launched a sword towards Mash, who surprisingly blocked the attack with his fingers, jokingly mentioning stranger danger. The spider assessed Mash's magic as 0, leaving Reigns curious about Mash's hidden power. Reigns then activated 10 of his partisans, expecting a challenge. Mash bunted every sword with ease, impressing Reigns. Mash introduced himself, and Reigns recalled the headmaster's words about watching out for Mash due to his good heart. Apologizing for his rudeness, Reigns offered Mash a handkerchief as a token of apology, which Mash accepted. Mash joked about Reigns possibly being into bunny girls, but Reigns remained silent, continuing to stare him down. Despite their interaction, Reigns warned Mash about the difficulty of facing Abel without magic. Mash claimed he could use magic, though Reigns saw through the lie. However, Reigns offered Mash a chance to obtain most of the school's gold coins if he could defeat Abel. As Mash pushed the door open, memories of Creamy flooded his mind, igniting a surge of anger within him. This emotional turmoil manifested in his physical actions, leading him to crush the door open in frustration. Abel's reaction to Mash's display of strength was a mix of surprise and intrigue. He recognized Mash's potential, pondering if there was more to him than met the eye. However, his subsequent remarks about his discriminatory beliefs revealed the darker aspects of his character. Despite his efforts to conceal his true identity, Mash sensed that he was on the verge of being discovered. However, he managed to maintain his composure and evade Abel's suspicions for the time being. Abel's ideology, which advocated for the elimination of those deemed inferior or unable to control magic, clashed with Mash's sense of justice and compassion. Then, Mash realized the true nature of Abel's ideology. He couldn't stand by silently as Abel spoke of eliminating those who couldn't control magic. Mash challenged Abel's ideology, refusing to accept a world built on discrimination and cruelty. As their confrontation escalated, Mash vowed to protect those who were deemed inferior by people like Abel, declaring that everyone deserved a chance to live free from oppression. Abel, unmoved by Mash's defiance, prepared to unleash his power against him. But Mash stood firm, ready to fight for what he believed in, even if it meant facing the full force of Abel's wrath. Abel, unmoved by Mash's determination, continued his relentless assault. As Finn's attacks intensified, Mash found himself on the brink of defeat, his body battered and bruised. But in a moment of clarity, he realized that Abel's control over him was weakening. Summoning every ounce of strength he had left, Abel, taken aback by Mash's resilience, prepared to unleash his full power. But Mash stood his ground, ready to face whatever came his way. In a final act of defiance, Mash clenched the gold coin tightly in his hand. With a surge of determination, Mash tapped into his instinctual reflexes, bypassing Abel's control and breaking free from his puppet-like state. Surprised by Mash's resilience, Abel watched in disbelief as Mash unleashed a flurry of attacks, determined to make him regret his actions. As Mash's assault intensified, Abel resorted to his ultimate ability, turning Mash into a doll in a desperate attempt to regain control. However, Mash revealed the true source of his strength, a cream puff hidden within his robe. With his cream puff in hand, Mash unleashed a final, decisive blow, shattering Abel's control and reclaiming his freedom. Mash's relentless determination and ability to break free from Abel's control left the latter in shock. Abel unleashed his ultimate spell, summoning a giant doll known as his Marionette Second, which had the power to turn anything within a 100-meter radius into a puppet. Abel intended to use this spell to crush Mash once and for all, believing it was the end for him. However, Mash defied all expectations once again. With incredible speed and precision, he snapped the strings of the Marionette Second as they touched him, breaking free from Abel's control with a physics-defying move that left everyone astonished. Abel couldn't believe what he was witnessing. Mash's resilience and ingenuity made him the most interesting person Abel had ever encountered. As Mash launched his own counterattack, Abel realized something he had never considered before. He remembered his mother, a noblewoman who showed compassion and kindness to those less fortunate. Despite her privileged upbringing, she selflessly gave to the poor, only to meet a tragic end when she was stabbed by someone who wanted to hoard the food for himself. In that moment, Abel understood the true meaning of compassion and realized that his previous beliefs about the poor were misguided. He saw that his mother's actions were not acts of pity, but expressions of genuine care and empathy. With this newfound understanding, Abel's perspective shifted. He recognized the value of kindness and compassion, seeing them as virtues to be cherished rather than weaknesses to be exploited. After Abel's defeat and the liberation of all the students, Mash quickly urged him to free Lemon, showing his impatience even in the moment of victory. Abel, acknowledging his defeat, released Lemon from his control. Lemon fell into Mash's arms, and Finn miraculously came back to life. Overjoyed, Finn cheered and hailed Mash as his hero, while Lemon jokingly referred to him as her husband. Meanwhile, Mash was preoccupied with juggling all the coins he had earned. As the group celebrated their victory, Lemon apologized for the trouble she had caused, but also expressed her desire for Mash to treat her to cream puffs. Mash, ever the gentleman, agreed to fulfill her request only to receive a playful punch in the face from her. Dot, wanting in on the action, joined in by punching himself in the face. With everyone reunited, the group continued their jubilant celebration, though Lance was notably absent. Meanwhile, as Lance wandered the campus, he was stopped by Rain. However, Rain's magic was completely negated by an unexpected counter from an intricate criminal organization known as Innocent Zero. The leader of Innocent Zero, known as Zero, refused to divulge any information to Rain, emphasizing that they were not allies. Rain's attempt to confront Zero was swiftly halted by one of Zero's comrades, Jean-Pierre, who positioned himself as Rain's opponent. Recognizing Jean-Pierre's formidable strength on par with a divine visionary, Rain knew that facing him would be a daunting task. Meanwhile, amidst the ongoing celebration, Abyss reminisced about Abel's declaration that he would give Abyss's eye a new purpose, effectively making him his tool. Abyss's sole desire was to catch up to his master's expectations. Back at Roger's home, Abyss wondered about Mash's progress, expressing concern about Mash's potential failure to become a divine visionary. Roger's friend Brad teased him about prioritizing his television appearances over work, adding a lighthearted touch to the conversation. As the celebration continued, Innocent Zero made their entrance, catching the attention of the group. Dot pondered the whereabouts of Lance, only to be swiftly subdued by Zero's overwhelming power. Innocent Zero confronted Abel, questioning his defeat against an opponent and labeling him as worthless for failing to rise to the top of the school. Despite Abel's leaked information about the headmaster, Zero initiated a confrontation by using his magic to choke Abel. As Mash intervened with a simple offer of orange juice and cream puffs, Innocent Zero's leader, perplexed by Mash's presence, dismissed him as an inconsequential nuisance. However, Mash's unintentional sneeze, prompted by an itching fly, sent the cream puffs flying towards the leader, creating a moment of confusion. Despite Mash's innocent inquiry about retrieving the fallen cream puffs, the leader callously discarded them, causing Mash distress. In a sudden turn of events, the leader was struck by a severe headache, leading him to suspect Mash as the source of his pain. Despite his initial dismissal of Mash's significance, the leader recognized the threat Mash posed when he redirected an attack aimed at Abel, using a rock to alter its trajectory. Mash, fueled by determination, confronted the leader, displaying unexpected defiance. Despite the leader's attempts to belittle him, Mash remained resolute, launching an attack with a rock aimed at the leader. However, the leader effortlessly blocked the attack. Displaying his confidence and arrogance, with his characteristic bravado, the leader challenged Mash, taunting him with playful banter and underestimating his opponent's resolve. The leader, acknowledging Mash's determination, declared that their battle must conclude within 30 minutes to save his friend. With a wave of his hand, he unleashed his formidable magic spells, conjuring stone spears aimed at Mash. Despite sustaining numerous injuries from the onslaught, Mash refused to yield, relentlessly punching his way through the barrage of stone spears. The leader, confident in his superiority due to his innate talents, launched a final stone spear directly at Mash's core, intending to crush him. Abel, recognizing the vast disparity in their talents, recalled his mother's teachings about privilege being a mere coincidence. He understood that true kindness comes from empathizing with others' experiences. Moved by Mash's unwavering determination to save Abyss, despite their differences, Abel pondered his own capacity for empathy. Meanwhile, Abyss awoke, reminiscing about the isolation and rejection he endured due to his feared Devil Eye. He had resigned himself to a life of loneliness until Mash revealed his true intentions to protect and befriend him. Abel, seizing the opportunity, implored Abyss to harness the power of his Devil Eye for their cause. As Abyss expressed his reluctance to involve himself in further conflict, Abel reassured him, vowing to give his Devil Eye a purpose and declaring his intent to make Abyss his ally. Despite Abyss's warnings for Abel to flee, Abel remained steadfast, echoing the noble spirit he had inherited from his mother. Meanwhile, the leader persisted in casting his Carbon Rain, launching relentless attacks against Mash, who struggled to hold his ground. Dot observed Mash's slow progress and realized that intervening would leave Finn and Lemon vulnerable. The leader grew impatient with Mash's resistance, intensifying his assault. In the face of overwhelming odds, Mash found himself at a standstill, unable to counter the leader's onslaught. As a barrage of attacks threatened to overwhelm him, Mash was unexpectedly rescued by a giant arm, courtesy of Abel. Abel asserted that while the strong may have the right to dominate the weak also have the right to resist the strong. Determined to uphold justice, Abel confronted the leader head-on. With a swift uppercut, Mash dealt a powerful blow to the leader, who swiftly healed his injuries. Undeterred, the leader inquired about Mash's magic, prompting Mash to cheekily reply that he wielded power magic. The leader, displeased with the response, unveiled his holy magic mirror, a feared artifact capable of amplifying magical attacks. Aware of the mirror's formidable capabilities, Dot cautioned Mash about the challenge ahead. Knowing that defeating it without magic would be a daunting task, Mash's astonishing display of power without magic left everyone stunned, including the leader, who found himself on the receiving end of Mash's formidable physical prowess. The realization dawned on them that Mash had been concealing his lack of magical ability all along, defying the laws of physics with his sheer physical strength. As Lemon and Finn marveled at Mash's strength, Lemon playfully suggested renaming him Smash for his ability to obliterate adversaries. However, despite Mash's impressive strike, it failed to leave a scratch on the leader, who observed a magical crest forming on his arm due to the encounter with Mash and his headache. With this revelation, the leader, known as Selwar, recognized Mash as the individual he had been seeking. Selwar expressed gratitude to Mash for their encounter and promised to meet again before departing due to an urgent matter. Meanwhile, Mash, relieved that the conflict was over, turned to attend to Abyss's injuries. However, Abel assured him that Abyss's life was not in danger, as the handkerchief he had given Abyss was imbued with healing magic. As they discussed their plans for the future, Abel expressed gratitude to Mash and promised to repay the favor someday. With the immediate threat resolved, Mash turned to leave, but Dot questioned how he had achieved such feats without magic. Lemon, more interested in Mash's physical abilities, joked about experiencing his hip-thrusting muscles, while Finn expressed concern about potential consequences if Mash's lack of magical abilities were to be discovered. Overwhelmed by fear, Mash stuttered, attempting to claim he could use magic. As the students began to wake up, Mash's secret of being unable to use magic within a magic school was inadvertently exposed to everyone. Despite the potential consequences, Mash remained surprisingly calm, choosing to focus on indulging in a cream puff instead. Meanwhile, in another dimension, Selwar apologized to his father for the delay, but assured him that he had finally located the person they had been searching for. His father expressed joy at the prospect of their wish finally being fulfilled, and instructed Selwar to go and retrieve him. With the revelation of Masha's secret and the anticipation of what lies ahead, the man concluded the video, leaving viewers eagerly awaiting the next installment of the story.